Hey, you want to get stoned with Lemurian Blue Calcite, that is. I feel like every time I start out these Let's Get Stoned videos, I'm always like, it's been a long time since I did the meditation, and it's been a long time since I've uploaded one of these videos. And while that might be a little bit frustrating to a viewer who wants to watch more crystal content, I think it really speaks to and totally demonstrates the fact that crystals want to work with us and will show up in your life for specific reasons. So, this Let's Get Stoned video is going to be a little bit different from the other ones. Normally, what I do is I sit in meditation with a specific crystal, write down the information that comes up to me intuitively. Then I, on my own, go do some research, come back, and we compare what came up in meditation to the actual research of the crystal. So, in addition to that, we are going to still be doing that in this video. But in addition to that, I also recently had a past life reading with medium Jenny Lee. I'm going to link all of her information in the description below because she's amazing and you need to check her out. And so I won this reading. It was totally unexpected. And not that I'm not interested in exploring past lives, but it's just interesting that I won it and had lost and recently found this specific crystal, Lemurian Blue Calcite. So I am going to share with you clips from my past life reading with medium Jenny Lee, as well as comparing to the intuitive messages, as well as the research that is known about Lemurian Blue Calcite. Okay, so I know we have a lot to unpack transitioning between the research, the meditation, and the past life reading, but let's just start with how we usually start with the meditation. Okay, so I'm having difficulty. I'm in the middle of filming a moon day video, and I'm having a lot of trouble focusing, like to the point of getting irritated because I can't focus. Lately, I have been picking a card from the Gemstone Affirmation deck before doing live streams to sort of help me to pick out crystals to work with when I'm doing readings. And so I don't know, I just like I was really distracted and can't focus. So I thought, maybe I should pull a card and see if I could get something like a crystal to work with to kind of just help me focus and concentrate, like ground my energy so that I'm not feeling so scattered. And the crystal that came out is Lemurian Blue Calcite. And it says it activates the throat chakra for peaceful communication and the heart chakra for deep emotional healing. It brings happiness and peace and helps you unlock past life memories. Encoded with ancient Lemurian wisdom, this is a crystal of interdimensional communication and higher wisdom. The affirmation is I receive the ancient wisdom waiting for me. I am happy and at peace. I just happen to have a big piece here that actually almost looks identical to the one in this image here. And I just thought, I don't know, maybe I should sit and meditate with this crystal, especially because the video that I'm struggling filming is the week before the peak of the Lionsgate portal. So I'm gonna set a timer and meditate with this Lemurian Blue Calcite and see what information comes up. Well, I'm filming this video um right after the eclipse season or the last eclipse season of 2023. And I bring that up. I think it's significant that I filmed the meditation video during the Lionsgate portal. And I agree and concur with what Meditation Allison was saying about just feeling like this was a really integrative time to not be trying to communicate about it, like communicate or understand or process the things, the downloads that you were getting during the Lionsgate. And it feels similar to how I have felt post eclipse season, especially like the week right after eclipse season. That was kind of like you're still foggy and you're like, what came up for me? What did I learn? What am I like? It's just a time of like letting everything seep in and integrate in. So I'd kind of like to add that to one of the properties about Lemurian Blue Calcite. So I pulled up the card again that I mentioned right before I was meditating with the crystal and wanted to read the affirmation again. I receive the ancient wisdom waiting for me. I am happy and at peace. So I think this is really beautiful and perfect, obviously meant for Lemurian Blue Calcite, but for post eclipse season to not, I think, like, when we're on spiritual emotional journeys, there's this urgency to it, like, we want to get to the light, we want to get to the clarity, we want to get to and we always forget that it's the experience, and it's not all gonna happen at once. You're going to get little chunks, little, like, bite-sized pieces at a time, and then we're gonna put all those pieces, puzzle pieces together and make sense of it. And then we're gonna learn something all new and start that journey all over again. Um, so this I bring up is significant, I feel like, to this crystal and to this video as a whole of how my experience with Lemurian Blue Calcite has been all of these pieces, the meditation, the research, the life experience that I've had in between August and November of 2023 and my experience working with the crystal and the like past life reading that I had with like there's all these pieces to the puzzle that I'm trying to fit together and that like this is just the beauty and the magic of like listening to those signs and synchronicities and finding those pieces and that's how we get to put them together. Lumerian blue calcite. So this I feel like is a little bit different than how I um usually do these meditations because I'm like I was using it for a specific reason to get grounded and centered and to help myself focus. So I wasn't using doing the usual like asking interviewing the crystal, I guess if you could say. So I was mostly focusing on, you know, my breathing, getting grounded and getting centered. And I think this is a perfect example of how a throat chakra, like upper chakra stone, can help ground you, meaning all crystals can ground you. They literally come from the earth. Even if this was like a crown chakra stone, it's still going to help you get grounded. And I say that just because I feel like, just in case anybody thinks that you can only use your garnets and your tourmalines and your black stones for grounding, or black and green and red stones for grounding. Okay, so I think kind of what was trying to be relayed to me through that like grounded and centeredness. First of all, that was just my intention in going into the meditation, but in the research, it came up as heart, throat, third eye, and crown categorized or activating or connecting to those chakras. And I think that that is like the centeredness feeling. It's centering and aligning all of your upper chakras from the heart up and kind of making that connection of that just like connection to everything, seeing clearly, speaking clearly, and uh feeling like with your heart. Like it just aligns those upper chakras and has that grounded, centered being the main word feeling. So because I was having a lot of trouble focusing, I actually like tried this. I was focusing on my breath, and then I decided to start counting because it started out like I like to inhale and count to 4 seconds and then exhale and count. So then I just decided to continue counting, and it made me think of, like, when they tell you to count down from 100 when you're, about to go under anesthesia, and I was thinking about, like, why that is. It's something that, like, it to me, it felt like, um see, this is why I started meditating, like, I'm really having trouble, like, getting my words out. And I think that it's because this is supposed to be a very receptive time. So I think we're not supposed to be communicating. Um, I mean, we're supposed to be communicating, but I think we're supposed to be recepting and not really trying to figure out what it is yet, like integrating it. But so it made me think that counting down from 100 that they have you do and uh is to help your brain shut off, to like have your logical brain be still allowing it to think and do something, but it's such a like mundane, easy task to do that you're able to kind of wake up that intuitive side. I don't remember if it's the right or the left side of the brain that's like more artistic and creative versus the logical side of the brain. It's like giving your logical brain something to do so that your intuitive side of the brain can like amplify a little bit. Like it feels like a tuner, like Lemurian Blue Calcite can help tune you into different frequencies. In a way, like, help distract the logical brain. And it does kinda make me think that maybe Lemurian Calcite helps to tune into different frequencies. So I did actually, look up why they have you count down backwards when you're going under anesthesia, and, there were a couple of reasons, one being to distract you from the anxiety, and secondly, it helps the anesthesiologist monitor, like, how cognitive you are or how cognitive you aren't, so that they know, like, when you go under. I also know that hypnosis sessions use that method also sometimes. Um So, the tuning to the frequencies thing really did hit on some of the research here. One of the uses for the stone is to enhance psychic abilities, connect to spirit guides, connect to your third eye, connect to source, connect to spiritual ascension, to connect to spirit guides, and specifically like connect to past lives or uh, ancient civilizations like Lemuria or Atlantis. I also just, and this might just be like the color of it. I also just really feel this watery aspect of it. I mean, this looks like sand and ocean to me. So I just have this like watery, beachy kind of feel, which is kind of interesting because we always associate Atlantis with water and that sort of thing. So I believe it's my understanding that Lemuria was not a water-based society like Atlantis was, but maybe it was. I really don't know. So I'm just gonna put a question mark next to that, like Atlantis energy, and to kind of look into what kind of society Lemuria was or what kind of terrain Lemuria was. I was also feeling like I don't know if this was just this act of sitting and meditating. I was really feeling like this relief, kind of this let go of muscle tension and almost just this like energy clearing. So I did look up a little bit more about Atlantis and Lemuria and am prompted to reread The Lost Lands by Lucy Cavendish, which covers Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon. I've read it before, but it's been a while, so I want to reread it again. But I think it's just my understanding that the continents that used to be Lemuria and or Atlantis are now possibly underwater. not that they didn't have like beings that were non-human beings that perhaps were aquatic. But I think it's just the association with water is that like those continents are now underwater. But there is specific connection with Lemurian Blue Calcite to Lemuria and Atlantis, obviously because of the name. Oh, it does connect you to water and earth and energy. So it brings happiness, peace, calm, and emotional healing. So those are all of the aspects that we associate with the element of water, emotion, and spirituality. So, and I kind of feel like it's giving you this sense of peace and calm because connecting to something outside of this life and this 3D tangible world is can provoke anxiety. It's scary. The unknown is scary. So I think that it brings you this peace and calm and trust so that you're able to explore things that you can't see, that are the unknown realm, that are on the other side of the veil, that are in a previous life or in another dimension. So I think that that association with water that I was picking up on during meditation is that like calm ease of anxiety so that you can connect, so that you feel comfortable enough to connect. I was also seeing like these like strings of energy coming out, and I think that there were like two guides here on my right side, but they kind of like were connected to my brain in the same way as like a genie. Like you know how like when the especially like the Disney Aladdin he has like it's almost like a tail that is connected to the lamp. So I don't know, genie in a lamp tail like energy stream. And recently I've been interesting. Recently I've been revisiting a hypnosis session that I had one time just to see if there's any like new messages that come through. And I was reminded that, and I've completely forgotten about, I learned my spirit guide's name in that session, and I've totally forgot about that. So I want to start using the name, and I was feeling like they were on the left side, like there were these two over here, and that there was this big energy force on the left side. And the reason that's important to me, because I've also been trying to distinguish or make note of the different sensations that I feel when I'm meditating or trying to connect and actively asking like I invite angels into my meditation sessions and I ask what is the physical sensation or can you show me the physical sensation so that I know when angels are present, whether that's like tingling in the head, tingling on right side, left side, uh, any like whatever sensation so that I can start to get familiar with what all of these different energy sensations means so that it felt like Orion was on the left side and then like there were these two others on the right. But again, I think that is saying that Lemurian calcite helps you tune into your intuition. So 100% Lemurian Blue Calcite helps you connect to your intuition, but specifically to spirit guides and enhancing psychic abilities, spiritual ascension, spirit communication, connecting to source, and even lucid dreaming. So connecting to spirit guides and angelic guardians. Oh, and by the way, the research was from this really interesting article from the 2009 Denver Gem Show, which I guess they released like this kind of, I guess you could call it a brochure, but it was a really, I mean, it would have been more like a booklet. So just like giving all of this information about all of these crystals that are going to be showcased at the one of the gem shows in 2009. And it was just really interesting about Lemurian blue calcite, also known as Lemurian aquatine calcite. And they're usually found in Argentina. Just a little fun fact there. But 100% spiritual connection, spiritual ascension, connecting to source, spirit guide, angelic communication, and enhancing psychic abilities. And I like that this crystal came up today because I was specifically needing help filming a video where I'm talking and communicating, and that this is a throat chakra card. So, or throat chakra, well, throat chakra card, but a throat chakra crystal. But I would still have to guess, even though I don't think it mentions it on here, but I would assume that it's throat and third eye at the same time. So it's interesting that the communication throat chakra aspect came up because usually we talk about throat chakra as communicating, verbally speaking, speaking your truth. But in Lemurian Blue Calcite's instance, this is more about spirit communication, whether that is like your spirit guides, angels, God, spirit. I really do feel like it could be used for mediumship, but it's more about that spirit communication, not necessarily like a verbal communication, which is what I was like needing it for because I was filming a video and struggling with getting my words out. But it's definitely a more spirit aligned communication. And that's specifically, like we said already, that it's heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra related. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything that came up in meditation. But while I was doing research, and I'm just going to read what I wrote here in my notes because it says, while doing research, I kept getting the message that it wanted to specifically be used to help heal the emotional blockages that were slash are blocking my intuition. While I see that as a personal message to me, it makes me feel like that it could still be a message for all who were told as children that what you believe isn't real or have been forced to hide your psychic gifts. I had started working with Lemurian Blue Calcite because I needed help focusing on that video, but then it ended up being that I needed to be using it during the Lionsgate portal. And so yesterday I received my past life reading with medium Jenny Lee to it, or I listened to the past life reading. I intended to listen to it again so that I could just like really absorb like the information that was coming through. And when I was going to bed that night, I was going to plan on listening to it before I went to bed. So that like I could listen to it before I fell asleep and then hopefully maybe something else would come up in dream time. So I could not find my phone to listen to the damn past life reading. And it was driving me insane. You know when you like just can't find your phone or your glasses or your keys and you're just like tearing everything apart. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning by this point, and because I've just started cleaning the house. I'm like, well, I know that I won't be able to fall asleep without listening to something, because I usually listen to, like, singing bowls, a guided meditation, or something so that I can fall asleep, and it was driving me insane. So I just started doing dishes. I started, like, wiping down all the counters. Like, I'm just, like, where I could not find my phone. Finally, I learned on my new fancy iPad that there's a feature on there for find my phone, and, I had been calling my phone anyways, but at 10 o'clock at night, I have my phone go into night mode or rest mode or whatever. So if anybody calls, unless it's a specific number for emergencies, like it won't ring. So I was using my husband's phone calling it, and like, of course, it's not ringing because it's on silent. So I discovered the Find My iPhone feature, which I didn't know would override the silent mode, but I did it anyways and it worked, and I found my phone was, like, wrapped up in the bed sheets. Also wrapped up in the bed sheets was this Lemurian Blue Calcite, which I have not worked with since August, since the Lionsgate portal. I was sleeping with it, for while the Lionsgate portal was open. Have not worked with it or it was apparently wrapped up in my bed sheets, and I had no idea. I have not been working with it since August of 2023, and it is now November of 2023. And so my phone and this crystal were wrapped up together in the bed sheets, and I wasn't basically, I feel like it meant like I wasn't able to listen to that past life reading again until I had this crystal to listen to it with. So the reason this is significant is because the last and final piece that did not come up in meditation, but has obviously come up just with my life experience with this crystal, is that Lemurian Blue Calcite, amongst all of the other spirit communication things, it's specifically can be used for unlocking past lives. So it was just like meant to be that I needed to hear these messages from this past life to specifically when I was doing research, I said, I keep getting the message that it wants me specifically to be used to help heal the emotional blockages that were slash are blocking my intuition and my psychic gifts. So, this is the intention that medium Jenny Lee set for going into my past life reading.
I asked during my meditation what was something that we should look out for you for this video, and I was told that it would be beneficial for you if we look at a life where you had an issue with the same kind of things that are going on now, with the blocking of certain things, spiritual things, and then also with grounding, like why that's so hard for you.
So I wrote this about the used to help heal the emotional blockages that were and are blocking my intuition. I wrote this in August, and Jenny did her reading in November. Like, so I don't know. My mind is totally blown. If you are looking for any of those things, if you don't believe me, then I recommend that you get stoned with some Lemurian Blue Calcite and find out for yourself what it means for you. And any crystal for that matter. That's the whole intention of these videos is to encourage people to not just take what you're reading on the internet, take what your intuition is telling you. And if you are feeling drawn to specific crystals, then I highly recommend getting stoned with them. So I just want to thank Medium Jenny Lee for gifting me the past life video. I highly recommend getting any of her services. The past life reading was a really nice surprise for me, but I have done a group medium session with her. You can find her live on Twitch doing medium readings. She's so incredible. She has classes that help you connect to your spiritual gifts as well. She's so incredible and a friend of the channel. So please definitely go check her out and get yourself a past life reading. And thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll see you on the other side of the looking glass. Where did I keep losing it? It's like you're not in alignment now. Oh my gosh, where is it? Oh my god. Okay.